Hey everybody, welcome to The Remedy. Hi, I'm your host, Tony Pantelleresco, and you're listening to us live on the Micro Effect Broadcasting Network. You can access the show by typing in www.themicroeffect.com. Then click on the appropriate links, the chat room links. Come on in, make friends, get acquainted, save the planet, brainstorm, act as a collective. Good idea since the planet is being assaulted. I'm also published several different spots by bluesky.com, gagcanada.com, brian396.com, which I exhort you strongly to pay attention to the information that's being published in those sites. I'm also at augmentandforce.com. It's where I publish. Feel free to go to these sites, get the data, get the info. It's for free. No, we don't need your firstborn sacrifice. We don't need your credit card number. We don't need nothing from you except for you to get the information. I'm going to start off where I left off Tuesday in regard to frequencies and frequency assaults and some of the stuff that we have been programmed with this mess. It's just, the more you dig, the more you see how we're where we're at and how much influence has been put on us through the media. Today it's not just media anymore. People don't have to have a television anymore. You don't even have to have a cell phone to stream. All you need is the CFL lights. All you need is the frequency from the sonogenetics, and you're going to get programmed. And the sound they're using is also blue beam technology. This is so mind-boggling and so over the top in regard to how they are subvertly altering the way we think, the way we feel, what we believe, how we believe. Why do we get into arguments about faith, especially when we talk about God? Think about it. We talk about God and we get into a big argument. And now we got, religions and philosophies that are going to kill in the name of God. How bloody stupid. How bloody stupid, But this is because of the programming being piped into those particular areas, especially if you're not aware of what's going on. And you listen to some either imam or priest or high priest or some holy guru or whatever, and they're propagating that they have some kind of special message from the anointed from above, from God himself, from Jesus, from Muhammad, from Vishnu, from Buddha, or whatever else is out there, some space galactic conference in the universal center of the world, of the universe, where they are emitting beams of frequency, downloading into you the truth and the path. What a load of horse hockey. But this is what we fell for over the decades. It started with us, those of us in the 50s, and today it has become entrenched because nobody knew what was going on. I'm going to give you some links in the chat room. So this is some of the things that might be of interest to you. Small Love True. She actually put up the last show, so she's put it up there. So I will put her link on there. I think she should get some sort of accolade for what she's doing. She's doing a great job as far as helping me keep the stuff up and going, and she's doing it for free as well. So again, if there's some kind of a link there to help her out financially, please help her out any way you can. I'm of the mindset, biblically, Jesus talked about a woman that went to the temple, and she gave a penny, and everybody else was throwing all kinds of money, and everything else, but she gave a penny because that was all she had to give. And he stated that she gave more than all of them because she gave from what she didn't have. So my perspective here is this, really simple. You don't have to give tons of money to anybody. If everybody gave 1 penny, just 1 penny, and sent it in, that would accumulate. Obviously, the more you give, the more easier it becomes for the networks and everybody else to function. But if all you've got is a penny, well, I shouldn't say if all you got is a penny. If you got a penny, you can give it, by all means. If you don't have it, it's not about giving what you don't have. I'm not trying to push that theory or that theorem at all. If you got to feed your families and you're starving, then give what you can by sharing the podcast or giving the information that we're giving to you for free to other people. That is giving just as much. So that's propagating the truth, and that is worth its weight in whatever. So again, and it's not about, beating you into submission. Oh, you got to give, we're going to lose the channel, we're going to blah, I don't get into that. The way I look at it is this: if you can't give, you can't give, but if you can help by sharing, that's great. If you can give, by all means, whatever you're led to believe or led to feel to do so. But anyway, reason why I point this out, because so many people out there are getting money that shouldn't be getting it, because all they're perpetrating is bunk. And when you got people that are actually trying their best to give you the truth and try to help you and help you find some kind of solution or salvation or truth or awareness or whatever, however way you want to define the terminology, these are the people that don't get the help. And that's kind of an unfairness, that because someone's got a network that can propagate some sort of glamour or some sort of theatric and entertain you, you give freely to these places that don't do nothing. So that's my point. Give to those. If you're going to give your money, and again, it is your money, you do as you think you see fit. It is, after all, you work for it. Give to those places that are doing something realistic, doing something of value, giving you real substance, real solutions, real concrete ideas that can help you get through all this. That's my perspective, my opinion on this. Anyway, I'm going to give you another link. I got this one from Ireland. I mean, those Irish over there, boy, I'm telling you, they are into it, boy. They are into this war. They know what's going on. They are, kicking butt and taking no prisoners. Wait till you look at this thing. Anyway, I get people from all over the planet sending me stuff all the time. And again, they are looking at a lot of things going on. They're publishing things. They even got Bye Bye Blue Skies posters in there too. So when we're looking at what's going on, I'm encouraged by this reality that more and more people are coming around to the truth, and more people are coming around to what is going on with frequencies and frequency activation and targeted individuals and the inundation of nanobiology, nanotechnology. More and more people are realizing that these are the things that are actually going on. I had a woman call me from Toronto this morning and another one from, I believe, Texas, both this morning. Both of them are recognizing the nano implications in their health issues and their compromising of their health, and they're seeing that everything that they're doing, children are getting sick for no reason, so forth and so on. So I get encouraged when I hear people talking in terms of they're recognizing what's really going on and they're facing it, which is even a bigger boom, because when you're actually facing this reality and not trying to run away from it, that's when you get the solutions. That's when you start brainstorming. That's when you come up with great ideas that can come up with it. Speaking of a great idea, I had one today. You know, can you believe that? I had a great idea. I don't get them too often, but I got this one today. I'm going to show you my idea. We're now coming into 5G. And everybody's worried about 5G. Okay. When I look at 5G, I don't get alarmed about 5G. I get alarmed at the frequencies that they're targeting us with 5G or what's going to come. And after listening to that guy talking from New Mexico and saying that it's going to be, laser technology, I had a brainstorm. See, the guy talked about all these frequencies from 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G. And Chinese now are working on 6G. They're a little bit ahead of the game there. So, what blocks lasers? What deflects lasers? What deters lasers from penetration? A mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Can you deflect all? Can you deflect 5G and all? You know, that kind of thing. kind of got that one screwed up, but anyhow, you get the point. Okay, mirror. So what if you took your home and you painted the surface of the house with lead paint and covered it with a deflective material that's a mirror that would mirror frequencies? What would happen? You would become invisible. Did you know that? You would also become totally camouflaged. Did you know that? See, the early stealth technology that they were using in the past to make a soldier blend into his environment, he would wear a suit of mirrors covering his body. So when he stood still, he would just reflect his environment. Now, think about this for 1 minute. Paint the house inside, on the outside with lead, and you cover it with a reflective material. You are blocking almost every frequency known. You're blocking the lower RF and AM and FM bands. You're blocking the microwave, infrared. You're even blocking some of the 5G, the higher terahertz frequencies. But you're also deflecting laser. Can you dig it? You are deflecting lasers as well. So what happens is your house now becomes a trampoline. A trampoline. Now what happens when you have a trampoline? Well, if you jump on a trampoline, right, what happens is it depresses and then expands, right? And it shoots you up in the air because it's giving you back the force that you gave it. Now, I can't figure out all the band frequencies. There's too many of them, and too many of them are coming in that I can't even hear or pick up on unless I have specific technologies. But I can create a trampoline. So when they're hitting you with the frequencies and they hit your home, and they say, for instance, some of them may get past the mirrors, and mirrors also deflect microwave frequencies. Ooh, can you dig that? Ooh. I'm all getting orgasmically organic here on that one. So, if you were to do something of that nature, now let's say you live in an apartment. Okay, you can't do much because you live in an apartment. Or can you? What if you take some of these big mirrors and put them outside, not outside, but put them on your windows, covering your window at nighttime when you go to bed? Frequencies are going to come in. Guaranteed. That's how they do it. 2 to 4 in the morning, you're getting popped. Nobody is sleeping between 2 and 4 in the morning. We're all getting hit with frequencies, and we're all being targeted with frequency, and we're getting programmed. They're going into your sleep. They're trying to stimulate an emotional response so they can record that response and then fire that terrorizing response back to you. So why don't we put mirrors on our windows? Oh, can you dig it? And what if we put mirrors around us, on the ceilings, everywhere? And what if we use a grounding material and we use toroidal fields and all kinds of things that we can put in the bedroom while we're sleeping to implement and activate a more defensive or offensive, depending on how you look at it, blocking agents that can shield the body from the assault of frequencies? You at least be able to sleep. You might even be able to regenerate the way you used to, and you might start recovering. Can you dig it? You get the concept? I hope so. Now, you may want to go look at some mirror technology, how to use mirrors to deflect frequencies. I mean, it'll block a laser. Now, this is the catch-22 here. If you're in the house and you got all this mirror technology all over the place, you do not use a cell phone. Because if the cell phone is going on a 5G frequency and it fires a laser beam from your phone, that thing is going to ricochet all over the place in the house and you are going to get beamed. Unless you're wearing a mirror shield. I got my mirror shield on. It's covering my whole body. That thing can't hurt me. I'm invincible. I'm invincible. So, start thinking. Now think about this. Okay, let's say you're going off grid. We're going off grid. Okay, everybody has finally said we can no longer make the changes on the planet. God is coming back. We are done. We are now leaving. There's an exodus out of this mainstream matrix. We have had enough. And we all decide to go out into the field. Building domains, whether they're in rock faces or you build a house or you're underground, whatever it is you may be doing. And you put these mirror technologies around the place. What happens when an airplane or a helicopter flies over you? They can't see you because the light is actually causing the reflection of the earth to the glass. You just blend right in. You just blend right in. You're not there. You've just become invisible. See? Little bit of gray matter and you might come up with a little bit of an idea that may have some merit. And on top of that, when you share it with people, now we can all brainstorm on this and how to implement this the most effective and cost-effective way as well. See, things that we can do. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Kill that 5G and all. So when we're looking at some of the things that we can do. Now another thing, okay, we're going outside. Now you women back in the, I don't know, 70s, 80s, used to wear this thing on your head. It was like I guess it was a hat. I don't know what you'd call it. But it sort of went around your head, covered your hair. It flattened down your hair kind of thing. But you had all these mirrors all over your head. That'll block a lot of these frequencies coming into your brain. Did you know that? When you're walking into the store, we're getting facial recognition programs going on. Okay, so you walk through the door and you get hit with a facial recognition. So if you wear mirror lenses or you wear yellow lenses or yellow or orange lenses, the thing can't read your face too well. It can't read the eyes because you're blocking the blue beam access to your eyes. So if you have that mirror thing on your head, okay, what happens is the lasers that might be coming from those cameras in the stores won't be able to get a reading on you either. And you may find that when you go into the stores, I was talking to somebody earlier today about this, you walk into a store and you get that facial recognition thing going on, you know, and as soon as you get to the door, you get a little dozy, you're just sort of out of whack. Instead of being focused, you feel like you're to the right or to the left of yourself. Well, what happens then is you're being disorientated by the beaming. And when people come out, they are also carrying their cell phones, and the cell phone is also beaming you, so it keeps you further in sort of disarray for a second. But when you get past the door and you get inside the building, there's a certain amount of calming till you get into the actual store. Then the lights themselves, which are NULLIFY or blue beam, will target you. Well, if you got that thing on your head, those blue beams are going to be bouncing back wherever they came from. Again, the trampoline. That trampoline. So this is an idea for everybody. Those you guys who are manly kind of men, you know what you are. You know you have a male organ between your legs, which denote that you are a male. Wear a baseball cap, but don't wear it backwards. That's kind of ridiculous. The cap is supposed to be on the front, or wear some kind of head covering in the sense that where you can put the mirrors on. You know, Tony, is that the idea behind using the copper mesh on the head? Yep, same idea, Fiona. It's like a Faraday cage you're wearing on your head. But see, that's going to block maybe the microwave frequencies or the radio frequencies. But when they're going into 5G, they're going into laser. That's light frequencies. That's your NULLIFY. That's your frequency carrying information through the light. And that's going to also beam you as well. See, they're hitting us two different ways. They're hitting us with sound, and they're hitting us with light. Well, we can block the light coming into our eyes by wearing filters, blue beam blocking filters, like yellow lenses, orange lenses, even the red lenses to some level. Okay, or any kind of yellow blocking lens, you can block access to your brain from the eyes. In fact, when you wear the yellow lenses, you may find that a lot of those floaties you've got in the eyes are fullerenes, and because the blue beam is no longer causing retinal damage on the eyes and is no longer accessing the fullerenes to assemble and replicate in your eyes, they let go, and all of a sudden you've got this heavy duty dust falling from your eyes just by wearing the yellow beam. Because see, everybody's using a computer, everybody's using a cell phone, everybody's using a Wi-Fi, iPad, or whatever you're using, and that's all firing blue beam technology. You're watching television, you're getting hit with blue beam technology. So when you put this stuff on and you filter out that blue and it turns it green, guess what? Now the activation of the technology that's in the eyes and in the back of the eyes has become neutralized. It's no longer getting a program. Eventually, because it doesn't get a program, it begins to let go. The assembling starts to stop and it falls out. The sun is being blocked. The frequencies of the sun are being blocked, so we're no longer getting the yellow spectrum like we used to. What we're getting, though, is getting a lot of blue. We cannot filter blue. Blue spectrum is something we cannot filter, so this is something you may want to consider in your defense. We all have to go outside for something sooner or later. Well, if we go outside sooner or later, let's go with some kind of defense. I don't like getting my facial recognition. I didn't give anybody permission to spy on me. I didn't give anybody permission to check me out so they can send me emails saying, hey, you can buy this at this store. It's on sale next week for 99 cents. You just spent $10. You know, I don't need that. I don't need all this advertisement coming across the feed just so they can brainwash me to buy crap I don't need. So these are some of the things that we might want to consider in our arsenal. Something extremely simple. Go to any kind of craft store, go in any kind of dollar store. You maybe buy those little mirrors, those round mirrors or square mirrors. Doesn't matter what the shape is. And again, put them around you. So nickel material head covering. Will that alone do the trick? Perhaps we need a head covering in both copper and nickel. Well, that's a possibility. We may need it. I know you can buy the RF frequency shields. I got one. I wear one all the time. I made a poncho out of it. It's underneath one of my T-shirts, so that when I'm outside doing whatever, I don't get totally targeted. It may be reflective enough. I'm thinking more of a mirror, but that might work. Again, I don't know. We'd have to again explore those ideas to see if they will work. I don't poo-poo anything. Let's see what it does. Let's see if it works. You know, if it does, great. But that's what I'm saying. At least we're thinking along the same lines of trying to come up with ways to negate and neutralize this assault. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I did not volunteer to be part of this experiment, nor did I capitulate or consent for them to destroy the planet I'm living on. That's my thinking of it anyway. When we're looking at some of the things going on, if we start minimizing the exposure in the environment, in the food we're eating, in the things that we are not only consuming but wearing, hygienic materials that can be contaminated with this nanotechnology, nanobiology, we'll go a lot further in recovering and getting back the DNA to where it should be. You have to remember, all these frequency technologies, all these nanotechnologies, nanobiology, is all designed to destroy your DNA. Break it down so that it can now be incorporated into a machine. So the more your DNA is corrupted, the more it has been destroyed, the more it has become broken, the more this technology can now interface or integrate with you to become one with the body. And once that happens, then it doesn't take much of a frequency to activate to turn you into a drone. Literally, a drone that will just follow orders. It's bad enough people have been following orders for a long period of time, but this would make it seal it, cement the deal kind of thing, So again, this is why we have to, yeah, for sure, Piano, something to explore, definitely. I just came up with this idea today because I kept thinking, I thought about something that the military was using during wartime. How the soldiers would go out in the field wearing these mirror uniforms, so that if they stood still and didn't move, an enemy would walk right by them, not knowing that they were even there, because the mirror was reflecting the environment. So if there was a lot of trees, a lot of flowers, a lot of grass, that's all you saw. So if a soldier walked by, the guy that was standing still could take you out, completely camouflaged. Imagine if you're up in a tree. Remember not the Terminator. What is the other one there? Oh crap! See, I'm not good with television. He was a predator. The Predator. Remember the Predator? And he's walking around and he saw that silhouette. That was all mirrors. All right, come on back. We're going to talk more about the frequencies. Hey, we are back. We are back on The Remedy. Hi, I'm your host, Tony Pantelleresco, and you're listening to us live from the Micro Effect Broadcasting Network. Talking about some of the things that we can possibly do. I got you kind of thinking. I'm glad. I want you to start thinking in terms of offense. Vince Lombardi said the best defense is a one hell of a good offense, and I think that's the way we got to start thinking. We got to quit thinking in terms of being on the run or on the ropes. You know, they're the ones really on the ropes because they're the ones initiating this assault without in secret. These are cowards. These are nothing but frickin' cowards. They do everything in the shadows, they do everything in the dark, and they do everything in secret. If they had any balls at all, they would confront us head on, and then we could see what happens. But they don't have that. They are nothing but whatever they are, and when you give them any entitlement. But that's the way it is, and that's how it is. So in essence, you are probably more powerful than you realize, but because they've got you believing the illusion or believing the rhetoric or the deception, you've been disabled to really reach your full potential. And this is what this has all been about. I think being on it. I mean, the planet is a crap hole. This was a beautiful planet until these demonics took it over. This was a wonderfully beautiful planet for us to have lived and grown in, but these demonics have turned it into a crap hole, you know. And there's nothing really here anymore. Whatever we have or had that we may think in terms of joy and pleasure and enjoyment, we always forget what we went through to get that. How much of a lie, how much of a deception, how much of a program we've had to endure to have that one moment, one sprinkling of joy, for whatever it may have been. Whether it was a meal, whether it was entertainment, whether it was a party, whether it was meeting somebody, falling in love, whether it was having a divorce and paying alimony. Sometimes that could be a good thing. Whatever it may have been, you know. And so we dwell on that aspect of it. We always try to dwell on the positive, because that whole concept of dwelling on the positive is not necessarily a good thing either. We need to focus on what is real, and then develop a positive response to it. I think that's probably a better perspective to have. Here we are in a crap hole. How do we make this better? I mean, not to make the crap better, but how do we clean it up? How do we get rid of it? How do we fix this? How do we terminate this assault that's going on us? See, that's my perspective of being positive. How do I get rid of this? Because as long as it's here, we will never be free. We will never be able to evolve. It will always be brought back down to a starting over point again and again and again. I, for one, am not planning on coming back. I don't believe I do. Anyway, I stand before God and I'm done. That's it. I move on to whatever level after that. But that's what's been going on. The same vicious circle, the same vicious cycle. Build up a society, tear it all down. Start it all over. Do it again. But each time you diminish the society more and more and more. Till you get to a point where we are at today, thinking we're the greatest civilization ever walked the planet. We think we know it all. We think we've done it all. We think we're the most advanced. And in all reality, these things have already been done far better, far more efficiently in the past than what we're doing today. And it's a matter of perspective, depending on what you believe. You want to believe the educational system's programming, then you'll never wake up. Till you learn to think for yourself and be yourselves and be how you should be, you will never wake up. You know. So anyway, let me go on with Joe's drinking that Viagra again. He's drinking prune juice. Apparently that gives Joe an erection. I don't know how that works, but anyway. Alrighty, let me go on with Joe, you're a little strange there, bud. Alright. Let me talk about an aspect of electromagnetic fields. Oh, by the way, just again to reiterate before I go on, like I said, I'd like to give credit where credit is due. I want to again tell you about, okay, it's already on the YouTube. Smo Love True has put it on. I'll reestablish this in the chat room for those of you who came in late. She's already got the script up. And there's another place from Ireland. These guys are on it, boy. I'm telling you, they're doing it to it. They're building triangles. They're protesting. They're having this moment in time where they're telling everybody what they think. So, and I think we need to have more people like that. I think we all need to become more like that. You know, don't sit on your backside like a bump on a stump, and don't think for 1 minute that you can't do anything. You can. You know, one of the things that, like I said, they've given you the gun to fight back. You don't need bullets, you don't need bombs, you don't need explosives, but all you really need is to use the dollars that are in your pocket and spend them in ways that are not going to support these global whatever they are. You know, the guy with the FTC is saying that this is 5G is important because it's $10 billion, and that's important. What's important is we remove this bonehead from that stature, because he doesn't deserve to be the president of anything. Get rid of the guy like that, and then install and get rid of the system. If the FTC is not going to be looking out for the well-being of the general population in the United States, that institution needs to be removed. And something in this place has to be restored so that it will start analyzing this technology correctly so that this does not happen. Same thing in Canada. Environment Canada and these other agencies we have here, if they're not going to look after the well-being of Canadians, same thing. They should be disbanded and removed. Why are we paying tax dollars to these institutions that are doing sweet nothing? Why are we capitulating just to accept, oh, this is the way it is? One of the things you might want to consider, I'll give you another suggestion, since we're talking about frequencies, see if you can buy a simple cell phone that works on 1G technology. Do you need all the frills and the thrills on the phone? Do you need to have, you know, text messaging? Do you need to have, you know, music pumping through your phone? Do you need to play games on it? Do you need to do a selfie? Oh, I got a selfie. Ooh. Do you really need that? Cell phones, as far as I initiated, was to have them on you so that if an emergency should come up, you got a kid at school and you got sickness and the school's trying to get a hold of you, and you're out and about going shopping or working or whatever, they now can have access to you. So see if you can find an old 1G technology. It's not going to be perfect, but at least it won't cause the amount of damage that 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G are going to cause you. If you have to have a cell phone, have just the phone. A no frills, no thrills phone operating on a 1G frequency band. Because the guy said there that we had on there that the 2G started causing cancers to rise, caused autoimmune disorders to rise, and causes flu infections to rise. Really? You know, we want this? Why? And if you got kids today that need to have a phone, why are we giving them the most lethal technology in their hands? Why are we giving them something that emits such high levels of EMF radiation, infrared radiation, terahertz frequencies into these children's hands? Why are we doing this? If all they need is a phone to talk to mom and dad, just in case they're going to be late coming home from dinner, or they're on their way from school, or they're on their way from an event, if that's all they need the phone for, if they want the frills and the thrills, they can come home and play on their computer. Far less damaging, especially if you got cable running in your computer. That would be better than giving them a phone that's going to fry their genetic code. Okay, so we have to start thinking in these terms. Why are we? Because all the other kids have one. That's not a reason to buy a unit, especially if that's all it's meant for is communications. See, this is the reason why our kids are so stupid. The kids are stupid because they're being programmed by blue beam technology emitting from their cell phone through sound and light. Then you wonder why you can't reach them, you can't talk to them, or you can't, make them see certain things, because that bloody thing is programming them into a whole different realm. Mom and dad, they're old school, they don't know. You guys are current. We got the more current information. It's more sophisticated, more effective. Oh, this is it, man. Don't pay attention to mom and dad. That's the message those blue beams are putting out. Or mom and dad is the state. Mom and dad is the government. Mom and dad are the government institutions. They will take care of you. That's what's being pumped in. Go to school in the United States, and what do? You put your hand over your heart and you swear a code to a piece of cloth. That's programming. You're not pledging allegiance to a country. You're pledging allegiance to a flag. You even say that in the very few, I pledge allegiance to the flag. Why? You should be pledging allegiance to each other as countrymen. That's what you should be pledging. And pledging allegiance to the Almighty. That's what you should be pledging allegiance to. So, but like I said, this has all been hardwired programming. And so when somebody talks something different out of the ordinary, oh, no, that's no good. Oh, you're crazy. You're a conspiracy. Again, that's frequency. Frequency. So that's another thing that you can use. That's another thing you can deal with to help you in your fight to keep you healthy. As long as you use a technology that's sophisticated, that offers absolutely no shielding to the host or the owner of that technology will do you in and cave you in from the inside out. That's what it's designed to do. It's a slow, silent killer. Here, I'm going to give you a toy. This toy is going to be so much fun. Oh, you'll be able to take pictures of yourself doing stupid little things. When you upload it on your phone, we'll have a record of who you are, what you are, and how dumb you are will be in our files, because that's where this is going. So anyway, yeah, and I'm getting you to pay attention. I hope it gets you to think a little bit, because this is where it's at. All right, let me get into here. I'm going to touch on another part of this study, biological amplification. Ooh, biological amplification. Let me go above that real quick. I got to read this to you. Today, the ability to remotely transmit microwave voices inside a target's head is known in the Pentagon as synthetic telepathy. Okay? Operations designed to drive a target crazy with voices or deliver undetected instructions to a programmed assassin. How many times have we read or watched the media where somebody drove into a school and started shooting everybody and then didn't know what they did? Or they went and blew up half a building, or they drove a car into whatever, into a storefront, or some idiotic thing they did. Here you go. Everyone's blaming it on the drugs. The drugs open the mind for reception by implementing nanotechnology into the brain so that the programming can operate on a not terahertz, but a 1 trillion bit operating system that's on those nanoparticles. The ability to remotely transmit microwave voices, it has to have a receptive point that's inside the host. You're giving your kid a weapon or a transmitter that can turn your child into a... What would you think if your kid came home and decided to go on a shooting spree in your house? Started going crazy and grabbing knives out of the drawer and started slashing everything. What would you think? Child's possessed. Oh my gosh, the devil's got a hold of this child. Well, indirectly, there's some truth to that. Through this phone, through this technology. Let me read some other stuff here. This technology may have contributed to the deaths of 25 defense scientists variously employed by the Marconi Underwater Defense Systems, ESAMS, and GEC. Most of the scientists worked on highly sensitive electronic warfare programs for NATO. And NATO is selling carbon C60. Can you connect the dots? Have you figured it out yet? Including the Strategic Defense Initiative, it is claimed that the directed energy weapons might have been used to literally drive these men to suicide, and 291 accidents. Are you getting, is this coming across? Are you getting the concept here? We're no longer living in the age of innocence. We are now in the twilight zone. We are in the outer limits. We're on the fringe of insanity. You know, we're having eureka moments now with technology that can alter you through programming by frequencies. And when we're looking at some of the things going on, some of the things around you in the newspaper, I've made mention of this before in regard to the things that have happened in the United States. When you see, and we've had this happen in Canada too in some level, where a police officer had shot somebody of color, and what wound up happening is there was an outrage over the incident. There was police brutality, racial profiling, so forth and so on. All this hubbub, police, and all that. And then they have the police on the outer perimeter, and they fire their blue beams into the crowd. And within a matter of 2 days, the whole incident has died. You don't hear another pip out of it. You don't even hear any after effect anymore either. Why is that? Why is that? Think about it. All right, biological amplification. ELF weaponry was the concept of biological amplification of these signals at the cell level to perpetuate and set up resonance for more sophisticated information transfer. Now they're talking about using your cells. Ooh, can you dig it? Your cells are now going to be the means to the medium to transfer the data. Whoa. Electromagnetic fields or relatively weak power levels can affect intercellular communication. I can disrupt the communication between your DNA and your immune system, or your DNA and your respiratory system with this technology. Bioamplification is apparently why radio signals of very low average power, milliwatt, can produce audio effects and is difficult to detect. Imposed weak low frequency fields and radio frequency fields that are many orders of magnitude weaker in the percellular fluid between the adjacent cells than the membrane potential gradient, voltage across the membrane, can modulate the action of hormones. Okay? They can control your hormones. How many of you women are having these hormonal moments every month? Antibody, immune system. How come you can't seem to recover? Neurotransmitters. How come you can't think? You can't remember? You're uncoordinated. Your body's not, in sync with itself. And cancer promoting molecules at their cell surface receptor sites. All of a sudden, politicians are dying of cancers. Royalty are dying of cancers. People in high positions are dying of cancers. And how is this coming about? You know what I mean? So this is, again, something to think about. This is the seriousness of this technology. These ELF sensitivities appear to involve non-equilibrium and highly cooperative processes that mediate a major amplification of initial weak triggers associated with the binding of these molecules, specific cell surface receptor sites. Membrane amplification is inherent in this transmembrane signaling sequence. They are now using your cell's receptors to create the transmissions. Perpendicular EMPOs and with binding or stimulating molecules at their membrane receptor sites elicit a highly cooperative modification of your calcium channel binding to glycoproteins along the membrane using the calcium channels. I was reading another article that when you get the calcium channel blockers, it stops this frequency effect going on in the body. Can you imagine that? The cooperative modification of calcium channel binding is an amplifying stage. In other words, you're using the calcium channels in your body to amplify the frequency. By imposing RFPOs, there's a far greater increase in calcium channel efflux than is accounted for in the events of the receptor ligand binding from imposing RFPOs. Enzymes are protein molecules that function as catalysts, initiating and enhancing chemical reactions that would not otherwise occur at tissues temperatures. So by triggering an enzymatic response, we can get these frequencies to become more impacting. It's an interesting study. It really is. If you guys want a copy of the study, I will send it to you. I haven't put it up yet, but if you want, you're more than welcome to read this thing. It will basically stun you. And when you start looking at over 4 decades or 5 decades of this kind of technology being imposed on the general population, you have to kind of question your own head now. What thoughts are mine anymore? How much of what I'm thinking is my thinking or is being pumped through? And this is where you're going to have to sit back in your own mind when weird thoughts come in and say, these are not my thoughts. If something is completely, totally out of character with you, you have to say, these are not my thoughts. You may have to verbalize that too. It's important that you recognize it. And for a while, you are going to get caught up in getting sucked into the voices coming in or to the frequencies coming in, activating imagery in your mind, activating voices in your head, activating scenarios that can be played in your mind. You have to at that point, and you'll get sucked in an issue, but eventually you'll start saying, hey, wait a minute, this is not my thinking. This is not my thinking. These are not my thoughts. I don't think like this. And because sometimes when these weird thoughts come in, you start thinking how weird you are. It's not that you're the weird one. You're the one getting the weird thoughts put into you, so it makes you think it's you. It sounds crazy, but that's the way it is. All right. The Micro Effect Broadcasting Network. Give them what you can. Help them any way you can. Remember, don't ask what your activists can do for you. Ask what you can do for your activists, because that's how these things get out there and things can change by information being shared throughout everybody. Got ByeByeBlueSky.com, Brian396.com, GagCanada.com, AugmentInForce.com. Sites you can go to get informed, to become educated, to become ready to do battle, to protect yourself, to come up with some solutions, hopefully that can benefit you and keep you going in the fight. AugmentInForce.com, there's a catalog link. Feel free to access the catalog link. Feel free to access all that information on nano, on the terahertz, and on the projected program coming in with the DNA operating AI systems. You need to be aware of this is happening. So I also do consultations as well, 519-977-5351. Alrighty. Time to get into 2018. We are no longer in the age of consideration that we are now living in some sort of bubble and we're not going to be affected by these things. That's somewhere else. That's in California. That's in LA. That's in Manhattan. That's in Miami. That's in Toronto. That's in Montreal. That's in Calgary. That's in Vancouver. This is going on everywhere. Everywhere, every spot in the country, in the planet, these things are happening. And people are, believe it or not, people are waking up to it. They're beginning to say, what the heck is going on here? They're giving their head a shake on this. So it's time, like I said, it's past time that not only that you wake up, but you get active and start looking at what's going on so you come up with a better idea to defend yourself. Okay? I gave you a couple ideas today. Hopefully you can bounce them around. Make it better. I always say, make them better, share the health. That's what it's all about, really. Make them better, share the health. When we're looking at how we do this with each other and we incorporate that network with each other, we all benefit from this. I was just talking to Brian 396 just prior to the show or during the show, and I said if we can get everybody on board, that in itself will elevate the frequency from us to get the planet at least back on some kind of kilter. And the more people that wake up, the more solutions that we can come up with. Now, not everybody's going to receive these messages, and that's okay. Those that do will benefit. Those that don't, oh well, c'est la vie. That's how you have to look at it. It's not their time to wake up. When it is, when their time comes to wake up, they will wake up or they won't. All we're subjected to doing is telling the truth. As I stated before, the truth shall set you free. And all you got to do is tell the truth. They will take it or leave it. If they take it, they're on their way. If they leave it, they're also on their way. Maybe not the right way, but they're on their way. You have two options: hell in the handbasket or going home. That's how I look at it. So that's just my perspective, my take on things. So we have to recognize things for what they are today, and recognize when you read these reports and read the subject matter and how this has been implemented and how it has turned us into basically drones, robots, programmed androids. You remember hearing the term android? Man machine is what that meant. Man machine. This is what's been done. This is how it's been done. The food supply, the sky above us. This is all contributing to the frequencies. First we load and strip you down. Then we load and build you up with the programming material that was required to initiate an integration. And then we fire a frequency to turn it on. We can then record an event. We can record an emotion. We can record whatever. And then we can beam that back into a person. Ever watch a television show and you're not even sad, you're not really happy, nothing, and all of a sudden you see a scenario and you want to cry, or you see a scenario and you just bust out in hysterics? A lot of that is the program coming from that thing you're watching. They've recorded the emotions of a group or a crowd, and then now they're releasing that back into you so that you will now laugh or cry as they deem fit. It's what they're doing. They're controlling even what you feel, what you deem as a proper emotional response, and a lot of it is coming from the networks and the medium to alter the determination of what you're feeling, controlling your emotions on top of that. Why are we having these erratic moments? Why are we having one of these, crazy, insane thinking or thoughts? Why are we responding, to some of the things? Why are they trying to make us mad at certain things? And why are they trying to make us tolerable? Why are they trying to make us accept transgender? Why are they trying to get us to accept genetic damage which has caused the mankind to have same-sex anything? These are a violation of how we were built genetically. They created this anomaly, and now the acceptance factor, by playing these things over and over and by hitting us with frequencies to accept, it's like that They Live video or TV show. You see the billboard. Eat, consume, have sex, obey. Same thing. All right. See you next week. Till then, come up with some ideas. Take care.